First of all, I would like to say that I'm pleased to see the event happening at this moment. We think that it is an opportune time. First of all, you all know that recently Nigeria was assessed to be the largest economy on the continent. And it's very clear that investors are looking more and more at Nigeria. Secondly, the economic performance, the strong economic performance has been recognized by, of course, a number of institutions, the rating agencies. In our case, the World Bank, we rate countries through the country policy and institutional assessment report, which is an indicator that measures how countries are actually making progress on their development agenda.
The first thing I want to say is that this country strategy paper, as the country director said, supports our objectives. That's the most important thing you need to know. It's not something that the World Bank is doing on its own. It supports what the president has launched as the transformation agenda and goes beyond that to work with individual states.
Since we are launching a new strategy, how have we performed during the past strategy? I think that you would like to know that. I would like to say that overall, we have supported Nigeria in achieving tangible results, particularly in the area where we have sustained our intervention over a long period of time. Our objective today is to ensure that the objectives and the outcome of the strategies are well understood by all partners, all stakeholders, and to ensure that we are starting this new journey for Nigeria's development in a way that we will mobilize the various actors, as I say, the communities, but also the think tank, the CSOs, and also to ensure that these strategies are embedded, as they are already, within the state government plans and within the federal government plans, with a view to bring Nigeria to new heights. Thank you very much.
One of the recent projects which the World Bank cooperated with the Nigerian government and indeed the National Planning Commission was a GDP rebasing exercise. We'd like to salute the World Bank and the various development partners here present today. We have the IMF, we have the ADB, the UNDP. They all worked closely with the Ministry of Finance, the National Planning Commission, in ensuring that this, as well as the National Bureau of Statistics, in ensuring that this becomes a reality.
So we are working with the World Bank on Community and Social Development Agency. It's impacting lives. It's managed by the communities. Communities contribute some money, the state government contributes some money, and the World Bank graciously contributes some money. These programs are touching lives of our people. And I said I had the privilege of going around some of the villages with the country director of the World Bank. And even though it was little or no notice, it was an impromptu visit, it turned out to be like a festival because the people were so happy to see her and the way the World Bank is touching the lives of our people.
I think that the bank, beyond making dollars available, should also show interest in how we manage our national and state resources. Because that when I look at the numbers, I'm like, in Edo State, if Edo State government receive every month the budget, our share of the federation account, as approved by the National Assembly and accepted to by the president, on the basis of a projection of $78 a barrel, about 2.4 million barrels a day, without meaning to be arrogant, I might find that I hardly need the bank to give me more dollars to settle my contractors. And I guess what is true of me is true of any other state in the Federation.
So how do we see, when we were thinking of Nigeria, I mean, there is first thing, Nigeria is the powerhouse of Africa. It's the largest economy, It has huge natural resources, and it's blessed with a big population. So you have all the blessings and the needs to really spring forward. And that has been enhanced by the good and strong macroeconomic policies, by the stability over the recent period, which has put in place the basis for the strong growth performance. And it has been our pleasure to collaborate with you and to help you to move forward to achieve your country's objectives. We have been doing that with about 30 active projects, and in this new partnership strategy, we have identified the areas for the future lending and non-lending support.
You seemed very excited, very optimistic about this new country partnership strategy. Why are you so? Why? What's the basis of your optimism?
What gives me optimism for this country partnership strategy, the first thing is, I think, the recognition by all stakeholders that certain things need to be changed. And there is also recognition by all stakeholders that Nigeria has a huge potential.
So I'm interested from two perspectives to know from you. From the World Bank perspective, what are you going to do differently in terms of monitoring and evaluation? And secondly, what has been your experience with the states in terms of their commitment and their capacity to actually monitor these programs properly?
I think that in the past, particularly in the social sector, and if you look at the case of education, we have focused only on specific areas of the interventions. We focus, for instance, on textbooks. We focus on teacher training. So we then drafted, along with state government, some kind of restricted M&E system. We've moved away from that. We've now developing a whole comprehensive and holistic program around the whole of the education agenda in each of the states. And then we have developed an M&E system along with them that covers
Prof,
that.
are you able to tell us how have you measured the impact of those textbooks you've supplied and other support you have provided in some of the states in which you have your program? How well have they performed in even looking at it from exams-only benchmark? Are you able to tell us?
I think on that, we have a very solid example under the Lagos ECHO project. Because the moment you put in a school-based community approach and monitoring system, you'll be able to see the progression in education outcomes.
Where I think we're now beginning to understand a bit better the poverty profile in the country, and maybe also with the GDP rebasing, which is also progress, a bit better the relationship between economic growth in Nigeria and poverty reduction. So I think we are making progress, and I think it's an area where we will continue to make progress. It's what we have very high hopes for statistics, and that's the reason why we have a major statistics project programmed already into the CPS.
Where does the private sector fit into all of this? Where does the private sector fit into all of this?
The private sector is the one that actually delivers the credit or delivers the loans. The private sector is the one that actually applies for the loans. So in a sense, the private sector is at the center of finance and private sector.
Yeah.
I think we should highlight that this question of access to finance is not simplistic. It's not black and white, and it's not simply about giving corporations access to money. So what we do in the IFC is that we provide capital directly to companies, both equity and debt.
But reading through the country partnership strategy document, it's clear that a lot of the comments, a lot of the observations that both myself and several other people who are, with whom we meet made have been taken into consideration. That's very useful to know. That yes, those meetings are called, with a genuine interest to bringing about some improvements. So Marie, Indira, Prof, Mike, John, and Ture, and of course Gravette, and of course all the donors who are in the room, I want to say a big thank you and to ask you to please continue to be good to our country. May God bless Nigeria.